I did not grow up at all with a military background. And so it really wasn't until I met Matt, my husband, that I was really introduced to this whole world.
Say hi fast.
Both deployments were similar in Iraq and Afghanistan. He was an MP, or military police. He later went on to the police academy and became a police officer, and he was still in the reserves. I actually remember very vividly that weekend. I could tell he wasn't right, but he wasn't complaining. He sort of had that typical soldier attitude of soldiering on, of just, continue through the day. And so I said, let's just go to the urgent care. And he told them that he wasn't feeling well, said that he had some sort of heaviness on his chest, and said, but it's just strep throat. Somebody else on my squad had strep throat. That's all it is. And they did 2 different strep tests. And they said, it's not strep. So we recommend some over-the-counters and a lot of rest. In the middle of the night, I heard what sort of just sounded like loud breathing, and I'm sort of nudging him, thinking it's snoring. And he's not sort of moving or acknowledging. And so I'm nudging him and nothing. And I hear this sort of like breath, like a big breath. And then we buried him the following Monday. It wasn't possible. I know everybody says there's no way that could happen. He's healthy, all these things, or he's young, he's invincible. The story didn't play out that way. That wasn't how the story was gonna go. It wasn't until years later that I really started to look into it and wonder how this happened. I'm looking at everything. I am 2 a.m. researching anything I can find. And so it really was trying to piece together a massive puzzle. Both deployments were similar. There were high levels of toxins. That was not something that would be allowed here in the States. So he was breathing that in, and he was right there. He ultimately passed away from myocarditis, which is a scarring of the heart and the lung tissue. I think we know more and more that it's causing issues that might not be impacting people today, but if you think about myocarditis, that alone is something that people can have quietly. And what happened was he just got a viral infection, and his body was not able to handle that. He literally was at work the day that he came home and never woke up. I think my husband's reluctance to talk about it is probably a shared experience with a lot of veterans. You're sort of taught to keep going. Had they asked the question, had somebody made a connection of, this person's sick, they're complaining about their chest, and they were also deployed in a combat zone, we might want to do additional testing. Any raising of the hand to say, I think something's wrong, is deemed weakness. And I think that's what I would change, is to remove the stigma of weakness around saying I'm not well.